exciting moves he's pulling off.
Oh, he's pulling out all the stops, Peter, as we take a look outside. Dino Andino in the orange jersey, 21 years of age, from San Clemente, California. The winner of the last stop on the Bud Pro Surfing Tour works this small little section in front of him, a nice little tail block stall, and brings that wraparound back into the whitewater. So Dino Andino finally scoring on a good-looking wave here at the Body Glove Surf Bout 2.
Well, Mike Chamberlain, at this point in this semi-final, what an exciting semi-final we've had so far. Christian Fletcher's aerial attack, some great surfing from Colin Smith, and I think Rudolph and Andino are in trouble, and here's a wave right now.
And for the first time, Christian will go right side, and we'll get to see what he can do on his backside this time as he floats over the top. Nice little bottom turn, one more hit at the top, into the green section again as Christian finally works it into the whitewater. And outside,
Colin Smith, and speak of the devil, here he comes down that inside section, building up that speed. He drops down, whacks it off the top there, sends a lot of spray in the air. A nice cut back into the critical section. Now he's getting down that inside, a quick snap off the top. There he goes along, another snap, and Colin Smith there finishing off right over the top of Christian Fletcher. Meanwhile, out the back, Mike.
In the blue jersey, Richie Rudolph, the East Coast surfer, first East Coast surfer to ever win a PSA event back in 1886 in Manhattan Beach, California. And Rudolph brings that chartreuse bright board back with him one more time. Oh, and he switches foot, but that didn't pay off as he falls over the right side of the board. So tries to get cute near the end, and it didn't pay off, Peter. And out in the set right now, and all alone in the orange jersey, is the man who leads the PSAA Tour in points. That's Dino Andino from San Clemente. Nice bottom turn. Look at the whitewater fly off the board as he goes to the top. All the surfers paddling out. They've got a good shot at Dino as they're on their stomachs paddling back out to the lineup. Dino will now work this crucial little inside section. Judges want to see you get everything out of it that you can. Floater at the top, the wrap around one more time, and he finally kicks out. So Dino Andino, with all the other surfers looking on, responded with a good-looking right.
Well, with only seconds remaining, and there's Richie Rudolph, picks off a little left on the inside. He gets a little cover up on his backhand, grab rail, but that'll be it for Richie, and I don't think that's enough for him either, Mike Chamberlain.
Peter, I am just fascinated and intrigued by the surfing of Christian Fletcher today. He pulled out all the stops. We saw just about every imaginable maneuver in semifinal number 1.
Well, and he was very smart, too. He decided after he got all those great lefts with those aerial moves to take a couple of rights, and one of them was really, really good. And there's no way that he's not going to be in the finals here today. And I think we're going to see Colin Smith. I think that's our other choice. I don't think Dino Andino had the goods, and Richie Rudolph, he definitely didn't have them.
Well, it's in the judges' hands. We'll pass on the results from semifinal number 1 as soon as we find out. Well, in heat number 1 of the quarterfinals, we were graced and honored to have the likes of ASP veteran Michael Ho with us today. Here's a guy that travels all over the world on the ASP Tour and chose to surf here at Lower Trestles in northern San Diego County today.
Well, Christian Fletcher already was warming up, and he was trying to get this organized. He went for the big aerial straight off the bat and couldn't quite get it together. What exciting moves from straight away.
And the ever-consistent Richie Rudolph from Florida made his mark here today. Here is the first East Coast surfer to ever win a PSAA event, and he'd love to put another one in his pocket today. Pocket change of about 30 grand. So Richie Rudolph making his presence felt with those fluid roundhouse cutbacks.
But as the heat progressed, Christian Fletcher picked up a great tube ride, and you know, that was he was kind of getting his act together as the heat progressed further on, and he kept moving all the way to the inside, finish off with really strong re-entries, and of course he did pull off an incredible aerial in this quarterfinal, and the judges were loving that.
Well, this guy was igniting everybody on the beach, and that included you and me, Peter. We haven't seen aerials that high this year. Christian Fletcher and Richie Rudolph advance. Quarterfinal, heat number 2, Todd Miller tried to pull out some big moves as he sprays water at our cameraman.
Dino Andino, the Malibu winner, was looking very good too. He wanted to continue to lead the Bud Tour, and he picked off a couple of great lefts in this quarterfinal with solid backside moves.
And Colin Smith was in great position to get the waves needed to finish second to Dino Andino. That's Colin Smith.
But no one was going to beat Dino in this heat. He really wanted to go after it. As he said at Malibu, he wanted to open up the lead in the Bud Tour, and this vertical re-entry here was about as strong a power move as you can pull off.
Dino Andino, Colin Smith advanced to the finals. In quarterfinal number 3, Joey Jenkins was off and running, a guy that we haven't heard a lot from on the Bud Pro Tour this year.
Well, someone we have heard a lot from is Noah Budroe, and he was picking up the big rights outside and doing some solid surfing. He was putting together really good combination off the bottom, off the top moves and working them all the way to the inside. And he was looking real good, actually the best I've seen him look on the Budroe Tour so far this year.
And Jimmy Hogan, 26 years of age, from San Clemente, California, gets tubed right here. He was the winner of the Salt Creek event, and he did his best to stay in the hunt.
But this Joey Jenkins kid, he was a real surprise in this quarterfinal, and he was looking like he was going to get Hogan and Josh Mulcoy out of there with this solid performance.
So Joey Jenkins turning it on at the $100,000 Body Glove Surfbout 2, but this layback by Noah Budroe clinched a spot in the finals for him. Noah Budroe, Jenkins advance. In heat number 4, we saw young Vince De La Pena come out smiling, pleased with his performance that got him to the quarters.
Another new name, though, Brian Szymanski from Cardiff, was looking really good, and this was his first appearance in any of the televised action we've seen on Prime Ticket this year, and he was linking together a lot of solid moves and working them all the way down the inside to maximize points.
Vincent De La Pena, the teenager who's already won one stop on the Pro Bud Surfing Tour this year, a nice-looking left here as he made his presence felt in the quarterfinals.
So Szymanski and Vince De La Pena advanced on, and they were the two new guys taking out the big ones.
So there's a look back at the quarterfinalists. Our Chris Morrow caught up with Vince De La Pena.
Vince De La Pena, you just made it to the semifinals. You must be pretty stoked. The obvious question, Vince, is the money on your mind?
Yeah, it's on my mind a little bit, but I tend to let it worry the other competitors more so than myself. And I don't know, I try and just surf.
Well, your sponsors must be pretty stoked in the semifinals.
Yeah, I just signed with Rusty Clothing. I've always ridden his surfboard. Rusty's just down the beach, and he's pretty happy. My parents are here, and they're really happy, too.
So, Vince, what's your strategy going to be for the semis?
Just to try and stay relaxed and have fun out there. And I've gotten this far, and I'm pretty happy with the way I've gotten through so far. So I'm just going to try and go out there and free surf and surf the best I can.
All right, Vince, good luck.
Thank you, Chris.
Semi-final number 2 of the Body Glove Surfbout 2, just about ready to get underway. A couple of new names, Peter.
Yeah, we're seeing some new faces. Brian Szymanski, it's the first time we've seen him out here, and Joey Jenkins also, both new names. And a couple of people we've seen before. We have Noah Budroe, who's been he hasn't really put it together this year on the Bud 2. He won the championship last year, but he's out here today. He's looking very good. And also Vinny De La Pena, who won our first Prime Ticket event back there at the beginning of summer. He's in this semi-final, and I'm sure he'd love to get in the finals here today at Trestles.
Well, Vinny had the taste of it, winning $6,000 at Oceanside. He'd like to add 24 to that total here today. Let's turn our attention to semi-final number 2.
Already in semi-final number 2, there's a big hassle for the takeoff, and straight away in the blue, up and riding, Noah Budroe going one way and going the other way on his backhand, Joey Jenkins. Both guys taking off from the peak, and we're straight away with action here in semi-final number 2. Out behind that, Mike, look, two surfers going again in the yellow, De La Pena.
Vinny De La Pena, we saw him win the Oceanside event on the PSAA Tour this year, and he goes backside into the water. Look at the wave outside.
And it's Brian Szymanski, first appearance for him in the semi-finals. He goes backside, gets covered up unbelievably on that wave, and he comes out on the open face. Now he's got a big chance for the big maneuver on the inside. A tentative backside floater there off the lip, but what a great move from the takeoff, Mike.
Oh, let's take a look. As he dropped in, he set up nicely. Not only was he covered up, but he did a layback at the same time, which actually puts your body into a stall and allows the tube to come over your body. He finally released himself and did a nice re-entry on down the line. So Szymanski kind of sets the tone for semifinal number 2.
Well, out in the water right now in semi-final number 2, a nice wave starting to take shape outside, and a couple of surfers are in position. Two surfers actually in the blue, up and riding, dropping down to the bottom. Noah Budroe, he kind of worked the other competitor there for possession who had inside position, and now Budroe brings it down the inside, a cut back into the white water there. Another cut back, wraps it round into the white water, continues to work it down the inside. Maybe he'll get a big move on the inside, a nice wrap around again, but he really didn't whack it real hard. I thought he could have got some more power out of it, and that'll be it for Noah. He'll make his way back out.
Well, Peter, we are inside the 5-minute mark, semi-final number 2, the Body Glove Surfbout 2 at Trestles in northern San Diego County, and they're scratching outside, and in the red is Joey Jenkins, and in the orange on the other side of the wave is Brian Szymanski. We'll follow Szymanski. Is setting up nicely for him on the right side as he skirts around. Our cameraman falls down to his stomach, gets back to his feet, and almost loses his balance.
But outside, a beautiful cover up on his backhand. Noah Budroe, a big wrap around into the whitewater and continuing to go left on this one. A nice floater up the inside. And this is Noah Budroe's best wave so far in the last 5 minutes here of this second semi-final. Easily his best ride, but he's been short of rides so far. I think he's still going to have to get a couple more.
Peter, that was a great wave for the man they call Einstein. Noah Budroe went left side, nice cover up, good speed, good trim, then brought it all the way to the shoreline. So a wave that Noah needed badly finally put into his back pocket here at the Body Glove Surf Bout 2. Peter, we kind of nailed that one right on the head. Advancing on to the finals will be
Christian Fletcher, as we called it, and Colin Smith. Two new faces. We've seen neither of them in the finals on the Bud Tour this year. So two new names are going to have a chance at the $30,000. What a final we'll have. And right now out in the water, semi-final number 2, and a nice set starting to take shape. And we've got two guys are going to come out of here and join those guys in the finals, and a big wave starting to peak up. And there's a hassle for possession, and up and riding on the red, getting covered up from the takeoff. Joey Jenkins, he gets creamed. Meanwhile, on the left, Vinny Delapina, Mike.
Went into a stall, went into that layback, and it slowed the board down, and he got covered up. But outside, in the orange jersey, is Brian Szymanski, who's already had a couple of good waves.
And this one looks like it'll be pretty good, too. He goes off the bottom, whacks it off the top there, comes down the inside section, snaps it off the open face. Cuts back in here. He comes down the inside, trying to build up that speed. Another roundhouse wraparound from Szymanski, and he continues to work at a vertical re-entry there. Snaps it off the top again, and going down the inside. Szymanski's been looking good. He'd love to be in the finals with Christian Fletcher, and also in the finals, Colin Smith. And we could have all new names in the finals here today, Mike.
And believe it or not, the payday here today, $30,000. And wouldn't it be ironic if a newcomer to the finals would walk away with that big check?
Well, a nice wave starting to take shape inside, and we're down inside the last 5-minute hooter, and paddling and up and riding in the red was Joey Jenkins. He decided to get out of it, though. Meanwhile, outside, Mike, looks like Noah Budroe might have a go at this peak.
That may have cost Jenkins. We're down to the final minutes here of semi-final number 2. Noah Budroe in good position. Nice bottom turn and off the top combination. The nice roundhouse into the whitewater. Look at this setup in front of him. He's going to get some board speed up as he shoots down this one. He'll come off the top. Nice re-entry. Side flips, brings it back with him. One more time off the top. So Noah Budroe getting everything possible out of this wave. He's riding it all the way to the south end of the beach here in northern San Diego County, and he'll finally pull out. He's got himself one heck of a paddle back out to the lineup. I doubt he can even make it before semifinal number 2 draws to a close.
Well, he's digging deep, trying to make his way out there, but that was an important wave there for Noah Budroe. He had that great left just there a little while ago, and both these rides have been inside the 5 minutes, and you can see him, he's stroking hard, and if he can pick up another one, he might have a shot at being in the finals here at Surf Bout 2. Well, Mike, it's down to the nitty-gritty here in this semi-final, the second one. Who's going to join Christian Fletcher and Colin Smith in the finals to have a go at 30 grand?
We'll know shortly as semi-final number 2 is drawing to a close, and it looks as though Vinny De La Pena is going to lean into a left-hander. Noah Budroe will go right side. We got two surfers riding the same wave, opposite directions right now. Budroe brings it into the shore break, and outside, I think we'll have time for one more, Peter.
And up and riding Joey Jenkins. It'll probably be his last ride. He does a roundhouse wrap into the whitewater there. Now he's got a nice hot little section down the inside. He's building up that speed. He comes off the bottom, whacks it off the top there. Oh, slides that tail, and he recovers. That was a great recovery. Can he get back on the open face? He gets a little cover up, and Joey Jenkins there, a good last ride, snaps it off the top again. It's probably his best ride here in semi-final number 2, but I don't think he's had enough to get him in the finals. Well, Mike, only moments remaining. Look at this huge set outside. Oh, and the bell sounds, and we're not going to see another ride here in semi-final number 2, but look at this wave coming through out there, and in position, Brian Szymanski. You can see he doesn't stand up.
Oh, and what a shame it was, Peter Townend, that the best wave, the best set of the afternoon would go unridden as the buzzer sounded and semifinal number 2 drew to a conclusion. But I was impressed with Noah Budroe, a late starter in that semi, but he picked off some nice, clean waves.
Yeah, in the last 5 minutes, he got a couple of great rides, but it's going to be a real toss-up in that semi-final, you know. Even though that big set didn't count, there was another set earlier on, which was very crucial, I thought, and all competitors got great rides, so I think it's going to be a really tight decision, and the judges are going to have their hands full.
2 of these 4 will advance on to the finals. Already in the finals, as we told you during that last semifinal, is Christian Fletcher and, of course, Colin Smith also advanced. Those two have already secured spots in the final. And don't forget, the winner walks away with $30,000. The judges have announced who will advance on from the last quarterfinal. Noah Budroe and Joey Jenkins will make it to the finals.
What do you think about him giving away $30,000 in first place?
I think it's really good. I think they deserve that.
I think it's a good incentive for professional surfers.
Hope my nephew Dino Andino wins it, man. That's who I'm rooting for to go for, man. He can have it, man. He deserves it.
I think it's incredible. You know, I think the whole level of money that's being infused is great for all the surfers because, you know, it used to be a peanut butter world for everybody. And now, you know, you can make a living out of it.
Somebody's going to be really happy at the end tomorrow afternoon, and unfortunately, it's not going to be me, but somebody's going to probably, you know, have a nice little down payment on a house around here someplace.
$30,000. Oh,
A lot of money.
$30,000. God, that's a lot of money. I want to win.
I think it's a great contest, and I think that's a good first prize.
That's outrageous. It could change a guy's life as far as surfing status. If a no-name took 30 grand, he could become an instant star.
I think they're suffering a lot more stress, and I think they're really putting as much as they can into each heat that they serve. And I'm sure they're looking around, looking over their shoulder every minute that they're surfing, wondering who's going to be coming in and beating them out of a heat.
I think it's great, as long as I win it.
All right, Peter, let's set the stage. The winner of the finals here today in the Body Glove Surf Bout 2 walks away with $30,000. I was electrified by the surfing of Christian Fletcher in the earlier semifinal.
Well, his surfing's incredible, and the crowd are really into him. You know, his local spot is out here. He surfs out here all the time, and his surfing's just really exciting, and I think the judges are loving to see all this aerial maneuver stuff. But the other guys, too, we got new faces, you know. We got chances to two guys here that have never been in the finals before, Colin Smith and Joey Jenkins. It'll be interesting to see whether they can handle pressure. That's going to be the one thing. You know, the one guy here that knows how to do things in the final is Noah Budroe, and it's going to be really interesting if he can use his knowledge. I think he can walk away with $30,000, but you can never count out these young guys because they're just pumped up. The adrenaline's going to be high.
Noah Budroe, number 5 on the tour this year. A big win today could add a lot of points, not to mention 30,000 clams. Let's turn our attention right now to the finals of the Body Glove Surf Bout 2.
Well, there goes the siren, and we're underway straight away, wasting no time, and up in the yellow and banging it off the top, Joey Jenkins. He's been a surprise here, winning the semi-finals, and he works it down the inside, and Joey Jenkins gets straight into it, straight away, outside Mike Chamberlain.
Here's the man we all want to keep our eye on, Christian Fletcher. He's Mr. Aerial. He can really make it happen. Let's see if he pulls one off. A semi-aerial at the top of that wave, and out in the blue, it looks like Colin Smith may pick one off.
And up and riding on his backhand. It slams it off the top there, Colin Smith, and continues to work it inside this wave, not having a lot of open face, but straight away, the action's hot and heavy. All the guys are out there getting on waves straight away, and we can't just, I mean, this is electrifying. One of these guys is going to get $30,000.
Well, in orange, we're finally going to see the veteran of this group, Noah Budroe, go right side. Nice bottom turn and off the top combination. The face opens up for him. He brings it back with him. Very symmetrical at this point, trying to get everything that he can out of the wave. That's what the judges are looking for. Noah Budroe, the blonde-haired surfer, they call him Einstein, works his way to the short break. He'll try one quick vertical, and we'll call it quits. So a good opening wave.
Well, a little peak starting to wedge here, and in the yellow, it looks like Joey Jenkins paddling for it. He's up and riding. He drops down to the bottom. He comes off. Oh, nice vertical re-entry there from Joey Jenkins. He goes right over the water photographer, cuts it back into the whitewater. Comes down the inside. A nice floater over that whitewater section. Another floater over the whitewater. Oh, he catches an edge coming down, but a good move outside nonetheless. Outside, up and riding in the blue, Colin Smith.
Colin Smith, 19 years of age, from Cardiff, California, went vertical. Oh, my goodness. He pulled himself out of that somehow, some way, and the crowd ignited, Peter. Very knowledgeable crowd on hand here in northern San Diego County.
Well, let's take a look at that maneuver again. He goes up on the whitewater into a layback there, and he disappears, and somehow he gets back up on his feet, but that won't be one of his high-scoring waves because it was a short ride, and he really didn't get anything other than that move, but what an exciting move anyway.
It may not have scored high, but it was showtime. It really ignited the fans here on the beach. Peter, this is the 8th stop on the Budweiser Pro Tour. Last week was Malibu. This week it is here in northern San Diego County, Trestles. We move on to Florida for 2 as a nice wave starts to build up outside. Christian Fletcher will go backside. Nice vertical maneuver. One more time at the top. He bashes it and floats for a second. Drops down into a nice glassy green wall. Sends a spray of white water about 10 feet above his head. And works into that critical inside section, gets bashed as it comes down one more time vertical, and finally eats it at the far end of the wave, not before Christian reels off 3 or 4 radical maneuvers, and that's what the judges like. Radical maneuvers. Welcome back, everybody, to the Body Glove Surf Bout 2, $30,000 up for grabs here today.
Everybody's kind of jockeying right now, and Mike, looks like somebody's going to take a look at it. We got everyone paddling hard. It looks like Orange is going to get the better of it, though. It's Noah Budroe. He drops in, he comes off the bottom, whacks it off the top there, and comes out on the open face. A nice roundhouse wraparound, and now he comes down the inside section. Can he beat this long section? A nice floater over that. He goes up onto the whitewater there. Oh, a nice over the whitewater floater, and down the inside, and another solid ride for Noah Budroe. He just keeps knocking them away, and that's 3 good solid ones. I think what he's trying to do here is he's trying to get the good waves on the board and then go for that one really exciting one and hopefully take away the 30,000.
In the yellow paddling right now is Joey Jenkins, and the regular footed surfer drops into it from North Hollywood, California, ranked number 149 on the tour this year. Look at this open face. He's got the board S to S, rail to rail, as he comes down that critical inside section, goes vertical for just a second. 22 years of age, turned pro in February, and a fine showing here makes it into the finals of the richest surfing contest in America.
Outside Mike Chamberlain, following up Joey Jenkins is going to be in the red. Christian Fletcher, which way is he going to go? He's taking a look at it. This time he decides to go left. We haven't seen him go left for a while. He's got a lot of down the line speed. He comes into this next section, hot section, big aerial, and he pulls it off. Beautiful aerial from Christian Fletcher. He comes off the top again, down the inside, and he goes over for the little floater there. Another floater on the inside, and what a great move there. We'll take a look at it real quick again. You see him goes up over the lip there and drops back in. A great aerial from Christian Fletcher.
Up and riding in the blue, Colin Smith, 19 years of age from Cardiff. Nice bottom turn and vertical move at the top. And his fan club down on the beach lets out a round of applause. Let's see if he can work it onto the inside now. His best finish in '89, 5th at Oceanside earlier this year, which was the first prime ticket telecast. And Colin Smith bails out the backside of it, and he'll paddle back out.
Well, outside, a little wave starting to take shape. We got red and orange out there in position. Let's see, orange swings to the inside. That's Noah Budroe. He's up and riding. He goes left on his backhand. Christian Fletcher goes onto the right. And Budroe now whacks it off the top left side. He keeps going. A nice floater over that section. And off the top again. He continues to work it down the inside. An aerial on his backhand. And he pulls it up too. Noah Budroe there, Mike, answering back with a backside aerial.
Oh, and that is not easy to do. A frontside aerial is one thing. Backside is another. But you can see he gets the board speed up. He set up perfectly for it. Leaned into it. Came off the top. Found some air and brought it back down successfully, and turns to Christian Fletcher and says, so you're the only one that knows how to do aerials, huh?
Up and riding, Colin Smith. He goes down to the bottom. He goes, whacks it off the top right there, right over that photographer, and he goes back into the whitewater. Now he's trying to get something happening on the inside, and he cuts it back into the whitewater again. But Colin has been having a trouble with wave selection. He kicks out right there, and he just hasn't been able to get one of those big open face moves and put together a couple of those big high scoring maneuvers.
Well, keep in mind, as a nice set starts to build, in 1985, total purse on the tour that year was $40,000. This year on the Bud Pro Surfing Tour, total prize money over $500,000. And look at this thing building outside, Peter.
Well, I think this is the biggest set we've seen in the final so far, and everyone's out there but Colin Smith. This is the time you see an interference. There's 2 surfers paddling. Let's see what happens here. And looks like Christian Fletcher gets it. He decides to go left, and he comes down a beautiful off the top there. He drops down to the bottom again. He comes around this section. Vertical! Ah, beautiful vertical re-entry from Christian Fletcher. A good snap off the top and down the inside. He gets an aerial on the inside and pulls it off. But outside, Mike Chamberlain.
Joey Jenkins goes going at it, answering with another big wave. Nice bottom turn at the top. He floats back down. Good little green section in front of him right now. Here's the guy that turned pro in February, 22 years of age. And one more time, nice little critical section. Gets the board speed up, good trim speed. Off the top, one more time, maybe another before he calls it quits on this one. Joey Jenkins, number 149 on the circuit this year, rides it all the way. But I think we got to take another look at Christian Fletcher's wave.
Well, this wave of Christian Fletcher's is incredible, and I just want to pick it up where he comes off the bottom here. He does the most vertical re-entry you could ever do. Goes right through the roof of the wave, falls back down, then he comes along the inside and he gets that aerial going, that move he's been doing all the way through that contest, and he pulls it off, and that was just an unbelievable wave for Christian Fletcher. Okay, Mike Chamberlain, this is the nitty-gritty. We're down to 30 seconds, and Noah Budroe only has 5 rides, and look at this. He's moving inside, Mike. Is he going to go for this wave?
He's in the orange jersey right now. He's paddling very hard. He needs a wave desperately. It's not going to happen, but in the blue jersey, it looks like Colin Smith may pick one off before the sounding buzzer brings it all to a close, and had a great winner on the North Shore of Hawaii last winter, and here he is working it on into the short break right in front of all the fans.
Well, as we watch Colin Smith there end off on that wave, outside a crucial possession right now. Look, Noah Budroe, he's paddled himself out of position, and Joey Jenkins is going to get this last wave, Mike, and that's crucial. Noah Budroe isn't going to get 6 rides, and there's Jenkins finishing off great.
He needed that 6th and critical wave. He lists one of his hobbies as an artist, and you know that Noah Budroe wanted to paint his name on that check for $30,000. It's highly doubtful whether he can do it now without getting that 6th and final wave. What do you think, Christian Fletcher? Electric.
I tell you what, he was electric. He had 2 great rights. He had 2 fantastic lefts with great aerials. I think he's going to be hard to beat. I mean, Colin Smith had some good rides. Joey Jenkins had a couple of real vertical ones, but, you know, the pure excitement factor, I think it has to go in favor of Christian Fletcher.
Well, talk about exciting. One of those 4 in the water in the finals walks away with a check for $30,000, the highest first-place check ever in the mainland here in the United States. We'll find out who's going to walk away with a big check, maybe even ask them how they're going to spend it when we continue here on Prime Ticket.
Did you see what the cat dragged in?